And I think it will be.
What black grape do I plant?
Black grape do you plant? I'm doing not head-pruned Syrah, but I'm doing Syrah on a vertical.
Yeah,
Because
like bone rock?
Because it's too unruly. Actually...
Is that black enough? How about Tannat? How about Alicante? How about...
Paso Robles Tannat loves to be dry farmed. It's my most successful dry farming experiment thus far at Tablas Creek. Loves it. Throws a great crop, great color, great intensity.
What do you think about your organic at Tablas? Your organic at Heaton?
Yes.
Your organic at
Bailey. And Osgood.
And Osgood.
And the Dodd.
The what?
Dodd Ranch. It's a new one, which you haven't had yet, but that's a Tannat, Cabernet, Petit Verdot, Zinfandel.
Anybody playing with biodynamics on those?
Doing 20 acres at Tablas at this point.
But
no, those guys are not going to go there, I don't think. It would be a really hard sell to go to the Heatons and have them go.
How about the cost of farming organically over conventionally?
Well, I think if you throw it to, the question is different for if you're doing a dry farming situation, because to farm organically, probably the bigger expense is weed control, the lack of Roundup, right? In-row tilling, all that stuff. Dry farming, you're disking, so it's kind
you have to disc.
It's kind of a mute point. I don't know that you have to. I think you should, because the whole challenge of a dry farm, the whole goal of a dry farm, as I've learned it thus far, and again, it's a new area for me, is to maintain your pool of moisture in that soil. So weeds are sucking that moisture. They're stealing moisture from your grapevines. So you eradicate them you plant a cover crop, but you disc it in at the end of the spring.
For nutrient? For nutrient,
it's green compost, soil structure, et cetera, and it works. It seems to work well. Compost, I think a dry farm at this point, and it changes, my mind changes just as everything in our industry changes. A bit of cover cropping, annual composting is a great program, but you have to keep on it. You have to keep on that program. And biodynamics is what I've learned, and I'm doing 20 acres biodynamically, and so I'm learning as I go. But fundamentally, biodynamics is nothing if you're not maintaining your soil in the first place.
Well, it seems
so if you're doing a good job of that.
Many of the biodynamic proponents have seen a tremendous turnaround in their property because they've killed it the first time. And now they're building it back up. There's an article in Decanter a month or two ago on Zinhumbrick and how biodynamics, which he started in '99, has totally turned around his property. But in '99, he had dead dirt.
So it's not.
So is it just paying more attention to your property? Is it obviously? I think
for that it's a change of mindset. It's realizing
you want to build your system. You want a sustainable living entity.
You don't have to be biodynamic to do that, though. I mean, you can go out and spray all the 501 prep or 500 prep you want. If you're not maintaining your soil in the first place, if you're not putting compost in, if you're not cover cropping,
it ain't gonna happen.
Nothing's gonna happen. You have to do all of the above, and first and foremost is to have a good program for your soil, I would say. And again, I'm learning as I go, and I composted for many years, and then I stopped for financial reasons, basically, and it was a huge mistake. I should never have stopped, because you've got to keep going. You've got to keep a couple of tons per acre, whatever it may be, just to keep things moving.
Yeah, and our dirt doesn't have much in it.
There's a lot of rocks in it, actually.
A lot of rocks.
As you will surely find when you start digging holes for posts.
We've pulled a handful of earth.
But they're great rocks, and that's why we're here. They're limestone rock, and that's what makes this area unique, and it is unique. I mean, there is incredible vineyard sites here.
We're just scratching the surface, and I think Pebble Smith, who was Justin's father, he planted grapes here in 1980, and he's still I don't know, in 30 years we might know if we're in the right direction.
Sure. I mean,
this is such a new game here, and
I know
that's what makes it exciting.
I know people hate to hear it at the moment, and I'm hugely invested in the Rhone movement, both with my Tablas Creek work, but also here I do a lot of Rhones. The only thing that's totally proven here to be a great successful grape is Zinfandel. It's the foundation of our area. It's why the Perens came here, because they've started following where does Zinfandel work, because we think that will work for Grenache and Mourvèdre.
Because Grenache and Zinfandel are similar.
They are similar, and Mourvèdre needs the sunshine to get it right, and needs the heat. Nothing worse than unripe Mourvèdre.
It's awful. It was, and we do get that long growing season. And when you were by with Randall Graham and we were rolling through Mourvèdre, you know, he was intrigued, and his comment, when did you pick this? November 10th. What? Yeah, November 10th. That's when it's ready. And I don't think Randall has that experience. His Mourvèdre is ready in early October.
Sure.
And it's just maybe not the spot.
Well, it's another thing that even after all of us jumping up and down about it, still people don't really realize the power and the value of the cold nights of West Paso.
Yeah. And our long season.
It's huge. Well, we have a long season. With that also, if it was warm at night, we wouldn't have a long season. We'd all be done by the end of August. If it stayed hot all night like it does in Chateauneuf, let's say,
yeah,
you and I would be off on vacation by my birthday in September. You know, which would be kind of nice, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be nice?
Not together. No, that would be really unpleasant. I would be off on vacation, and you'd say, I don't know what you'd be doing, but those cool nights are huge.
Yeah,
and I don't think people realize it. People still view Paso's a hot region. It's just hot there.
Right.
I mean, how many nights do you sit out on your deck in the height of summer where it's been 95 degrees in the day in a t-shirt? It's quite rare. It's a little chilly.
It is chilly. And I love, you know, there are wine growing regions north of us that, you know, we just brought in something. You're probably done. No, actually, we're not even...
Well, the diversity, which is going to be interesting for you. I mean, the diversity in a small, as the crow flies distance. So, for example, Tablas Creek to, you know, something wrong with my knife?
Oh, it just wasn't as close as mine.
A small distance, like Tablas Creek to Peachy Canyon, which is close to you. Mm-hmm. We are Peachy Canyon, but the Bailey Ranch, Adelaide's vineyards, Terry at Adelaide is done, pretty much, by the time I'm starting at Tablas Creek. And what is that? That's a mile if you're a crow? Nothing.
No.
But what a temperature change. They don't freeze there, really. I mean, a little bit, but not like I do. I mean, Tablas Creek, we freeze.
Is that an elevation thing? Is that a plant age?
I don't know. No. It's not a plant age thing, because we got Adelaide from the 60s all the way up to present. We got Bailey
Bailey's new, yeah.
Yeah, 8-9 years, whatever it is.
Is it Terry's stylistic choice?
Glenrose comes in pretty early, doesn't freeze.
And it's warmer than, we source fruit from Lunamata, which is 1.1 miles as the crow flies.
Across the street from Bailey.
Yeah. And Steffi Terizzi, who oversees that vineyard, will see a 10-degree temperature swing as she passes our house by the time she gets to Lunamata.
So I wonder where that puts you. Does that put you in between Tablas and...
I think we might be a little cooler than Tablas. Yeah.
Oh, you won't be colder than Tablas Creek. We're the coldest place on the California planet.
Your weather station's at 900 feet.
Is it?
I think so.
I think it's a little higher than that, but I don't think we have any 900 feet, but I may be mistaken.
Joe was mentioning something on that. Our property runs 15 to 1,800 feet, and we do see frost, but we are a slanted property, and you get some of those pockets where
we are
everything.
If you look at a topographical map, we're a bowl.
Yeah.
We're just frost.
Everything.
Come in here. I mean, it's cold, which is good and bad again. I mean, so yeah, it slows things down. I mean, that happens even when it doesn't freeze. We're cooler perhaps of a night than you will be in the summer. So that also is a benefit to some of the vineyards. Slows things down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's so diverse. I mean, just on the west side alone.
And that's the point.
I've been Years ago, we were at Munch's place, just beyond yours. It was 96 degrees. We drove to Dover Canyon, which sits at 46 West, roughly in Vineyard Drive, and it was 10 degrees cooler.
Yeah.
And that's 4 miles.
And that doesn't even encompass
more than
going to York Mountain or
it doesn't get warm.
or to the east side of town, which is a whole nother game.
Whole different animal.
And rainfall also. I mean, rainfall.
What I do notice on rainfall is we don't have a weather station, so I use the Paso Robles Wine Country Alliance. The two closest west side meters are Toblis and Summerwood. And currently, Summerwood is half of what Toblis has received in rain.
About 24, I think, right? Somewhere in that range.
And it's 6 miles as the crow flies, maybe
you
7.
You wouldn't think it would be that big. But then you go up on Clough Mine, for example, which is half a mile as the crow flies from Toblis Creek, where the Dodd Ranch is, and they're probably half as much again as us.
Yeah.
It's crazy. In York Mountain, Steve Goldman, good friend and one of the longest running winemakers in the area, he laughs and says, I don't measure it in inches, I measure in feet up here. Because they get so much more, but nothing in the ground.
We're on a road to nowhere. Oh, come on inside. Taking that